got it.
He received a devastating diagnosis in February, but this Utah boy turned to the sport he loved to help him keep up the fight, and eventually met Tom Brady, the hero who inspired him during the hardest days.
I'm tracking the timing of our next cold front, what it means for your weekend plans, and how long those temperatures will stay below average.
An incredible rescue on the backcountry of central Utah. Now a father and son share their unlikely story of survival with Fox 13.
And a new mayor is in town.
Big effort from the people of Sandy.
Why this wind could bring the plans for a gondola in Little Cottonwood Canyon to a grinding halt.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
And right now, Utah Highway Patrol troopers are investigating a deadly crash on I-15 southbound at 123rd South in Draper. They say a motorcyclist was riding recklessly before rear-ending a Toyota Prius in the HOV lane at about 6:30 this evening. At least 3 lanes of I-15 southbound have been shut down, and there is still a traffic jam right now. UHP expects these lanes to remain closed for at least another hour. So if you are in that area, bear in mind that southbound I-15 is jammed up. Avoid it if you can because of this fatal motorcycle crash.
Meanwhile, we're learning more about a deadly crash involving a semi-truck on I-15 north of Tremonton in Box Elder County this afternoon. The Garland Fire Department says witnesses saw the semi run off the road. No other vehicles were involved. The driver was pronounced dead on the scene. 272 people died in crashes on Utah roads already this year, according to Zero Fatalities. With about 9 weeks left in 2021, we're just 4 deaths behind the 2021 total.
Tomorrow, Unified Fire Captain Merrill Bone will be laid to rest. The 61-year-old died from COVID-19 last weekend.
Tonight, there was a public viewing for him at Larkin Mortuary in Riverton. Unified Fire Authority considers Bone's death a line-of-duty death, so he'll receive special honors during tomorrow's funeral. That service is open to the public and begins at 11 a.m. at Olympus High School in Holiday. If you plan to attend, the family asks you to wear a map. And here's a look at the procession route. It starts at Larkin Mortuary at 7:45 tomorrow morning and travels east on 126 South to I-15 northbound and the East Belt route, and then west on 4500 South and then north to Olympus High School, arriving at about 8:30.
Let's find out from Allison Krogan now what the weather's going to be like tomorrow morning. Allison.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have dry roads here across the state tomorrow, so that's not going to be a concern. Temperatures close to 45 to 50 here along the Wasatch Front when you wake up tomorrow morning, so just a few degrees cooler than where we are right now at 52 degrees here in Salt Lake City, 52 for Ogden, and for Provo currently 48 degrees. Now we do have a cold front headed to Utah. That's not going to arrive until Sunday, so right now we have streaming clouds into Utah. We're starting to see those thicker clouds, Utah County and up towards Logan, the Cache Valley area, Smithfield up into Idaho, and then along I-84 and I-15 all the way down through Utah County. Now your overnight temperatures when you first wake up tomorrow morning, if you are going to be heading out the door early, 7 a.m., it'll still be dark outside. Don't forget that we have daylight saving time ending this weekend, so by Sunday, those sunrises and sunsets, those times will be shifting. We're going to fall back an hour. So first thing tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., 47 for Ogden, 49 for Salt Lake, 45 for Provo. Those temperatures will stay close to 50 degrees throughout the morning with partly to mostly cloudy sky. We'll talk more about that front that's going to move through coming up later in the hour.
All right, thanks, Allison. The state of Utah joined a challenge to the Biden administration's new rule mandating the COVID-19 vaccine or undergoing weekly testing for businesses with more than 100 employees. Fox 13 News reported yesterday that the litigation was coming. The Utah Attorney General has signed on to a petition by Texas at the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. They asked the court to review the rule for legality. Mississippi and South Carolina are also joining the petition.
New tonight, Nomi Health has opened 4 community COVID-19 vaccine clinics along the Wasatch Front to get children ages 5 to 11 vaccinated with the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. The clinics are at Centennial Park in West Valley City, the Walmart in Linden, Ellison Park in Layton, and Ogden Regional Medical Center. All locations are taking walk-ins. The clinics will be open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
The Utah Department of Health says 8,400 doses of the vaccine were administered since yesterday. 54.9% of all Utahns are now fully vaccinated.
We saw another day of high COVID counts. 1,874 new cases were reported today. 407 of those are school-aged children. 10 more Utahns have died. Hospitals are currently treating 573 patients for COVID-19.
Students in Grand County will keep their masks on for a little longer. The Southeast Utah Health Department issued another mask mandate. It extends the current order until December 18th, when the holiday break begins. The school district says this will be the final mask mandate and will give parents time to get their children vaccinated now that a shot is approved for ages 5 to 11.
The Utah Supreme Court has upheld the ability of police to obtain a DNA sample by force. The case stems from a 2014 murder of Ted Kelbach in Kearns. Police obtained a DNA sample from Douglas Evans using a search warrant. Evans was ultimately convicted of the murder, but he challenged the collection of the DNA and alleged police used excessive force in getting a cheek swab. In a ruling today, the state's high court said Evans physically resisted and some restraint was necessary. They did not find it excessive nor unconstitutional.
Officials with the Murray City School District are responding tonight after several students were found to be passing out so-called white privilege cards at Murray High School. This is what the cards look like. They can be easily bought online. At least 3 sophomore students were discovered passing them around this week. We're told the students in question were brought in along with their parents to address the incident with administrators. While the district leaders declined to comment on camera with Fox 13 News, we received a statement on the matter which says, part and quote, obviously Murray High School and Murray City School District will not condone this behavior or any racism in any form. Fortunately, our administrators were able to learn of it quickly and dealt with it swiftly.
This gun found on a wanted fugitive here in Pioneer Park, but it's not the only one. The alarming amount of guns found just this month by Salt Lake City police that were illegal. Coming up.
One of Utah's biggest tech companies is under investigation by the state.
And it'll be an impact that will be irreversible. What we have learned is the more people learn about gondola, the more they like it.
The Little Cottonwood Canyon gondola saga takes a new turn, with new leadership coming to Sandy. Hear from both sides of this heated debate.
And the University of Utah football team goes to the Golden State to take on Stanford. That and high school football playoff action coming up in Fox 13 Sports. Tonight we have the incredible story of a father and son rescued on a hunting trip after the son was run over by his horse, breaking his leg and severing an artery.
Yeah, Fox 13's Aaron Cox spoke with the family this evening and shows you why they say rescuers saved his leg.
I can feel him when my muscle moves.
Coy Coomer didn't expect to end his hunting season with his leg pinned together, sitting on the couch.
These 2 pins are in my femur, and then these ones are in my tibia.
But Coy says he's lucky to be feeling so well.
Appreciate what you have.
About 4 weeks ago, Coy's knee was dislocated and his artery split, leaving doctors a tough choice.
Even in the operating room, they say they went back and forth whether they were going to amputate or not.
Coy and his father, Brian, had been elk hunting when they stopped to help another hunter pack out his bowl.
And we tried to load the elk on the horse, and she got poked by one of the antlers. And then she turned around, pushed my dad over first, and then I just thought I was a tough guy and jumped out in front of her to stop her and grab the leader open. She ran right over the top of me.
I turned around trying to look where the horse was going, and Coy, he was standing up when I saw him, and he goes, I can't feel anything in my leg.
Coy stood for a moment before collapsing.
And I could see his leg, and I could instantly tell that it was broken.
Coy's father, Brian, says their satellite radio put them in touch with help almost immediately.
They said help was on the way.
2 officers with the Division of Wildlife Resources arrived within about 30 minutes. Brian says they were the ones who made all the difference in saving Coy's leg.
Officer Lawrence, he said, hey, can you just put your arms around my neck and I will lift you out of here. And then Officer Brimhall said, I'll hold your legs and we'll just start going out of here. And all of a sudden it started to work. And that was a miracle right there.
One of many miracles Coy and his family have seen on Coy's road to recovery.
I could just see everyone around us just doing everything they could. And so that was just, it brought a lot of peace just seeing that.
I didn't realize how much I enjoyed having 2 legs to run around on until I didn't have one to stabilize me as well.
Coy says he's had 3 surgeries already on his leg and is anticipating another knee surgery, but he hopes to be walking within the next 3 to 6 months. He says he can't say thank you enough to the 2 officers who saved his leg. In Grantsville, Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
When our detectives are finding these guns, obviously if you're finding somebody who's not supposed to have one, we've got to try to figure out where that came from.
The Salt Lake Police Department is sounding the alarm over a fugitive who was found to have a gun on him when arrested at Pioneer Park.
But as Fox 13 Spencer Joseph reports, this one instance is just a small part of a huge issue the police department is trying to fix.
An individual we arrested who was a fugitive on a fugitive warrant, and he was in possession of a firearm at the time of that arrest.
A gun found on a wanted fugitive in Pioneer Park is causing concern. Salt Lake City police say this is just the latest in a string of guns being found with people who shouldn't have them.
Guns are legally owned. That's something that is protected, and we're not out looking for guns that people have legally. These are people who are using them in crimes or shouldn't have them in the first place.
But it's not just this gun that's the problem. Gun after gun is being found in places, all of them illegal, and the police department says this is becoming a big problem.
You know, we took about 35 guns off the street just this last month. Seized. Those are seized guns, not just guns that we're keeping for safekeeping. And it's not something that's new. We're doing this almost every month. We're seeing 20, 30, 40 guns that we're seizing every month.
And it's not just the police department that's weighing in. Last month, District Attorney Sim Gill highlighted the problem as well.
That if you're going to engage this, we will come after you. They're going to come after you. We're going to come after you.
So where are all of these illegal guns coming from?
A good chunk of the guns we do find, especially that are being used in crimes, are often stolen.
Stolen from places easy to get to.
One of our biggest things is seeing them left in vehicles. We see a lot of firearms that are left in a vehicle, whatever reason. That's a terrible thing to do because people break into cars hoping they can find anything, and a gun's kind of a big prize for them.
Like this gun that was used to shoot 2 sheriff's deputies outside their headquarters earlier this year, also stolen from a car. So Salt Lake City Police would like to remind the public.
We need people to secure their guns, whether it be not leaving it in a car, at home, not making them super accessible.
And that will make a big impact, decreasing the amount of illegal firearms, making our streets more dangerous.
They're dangerous to us, they're dangerous to anybody that's out there, and we can stop crime from happening when we take these off the streets. That's our goal.
Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
New tonight, a 10-year-old Utah boy is recounting the moment of a lifetime after his message to football star Tom Brady and Brady's reaction went viral.
Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher explains the heartwarming encounter that inspired the young boy's recovery in a way that is positively Utah.
Hey. There it is.
There's something about the sport that Noah can't get enough of. A sport that when Noah found out the worst news possible back in February,
they did a couple scans and we found out that I had brain cancer.
He clung to.
And then I said, Dad, I just really need to watch Tom Brady highlights. I just wanted to watch football. It was like soothing. It made me feel better.
Noah could never guess his favorite player would hear about the 10-year-old's battle and reach out.
Hey Noah, how you doing? I just wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about you. I know you're one of my biggest fans in Utah. Thinking about you, I'm with you. My thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, and hang tough.
That video came at like one of the darkest times for him. Like that video could have come a month ago. It could have come 2 months ago even. But it came like at a perfect alignment of need.
It served as Noah's motivation to fight.
Whenever I was going through a rough time, I'd think, oh, if Tom Brady thinks I can beat cancer, I I can beat brain cancer.
Months later, good news. The 4 surgeries, chemo, and radiation worked, sending Noah's cancer into remission. His parents surprised him with a trip to Tampa to watch his favorite football player in person. They made this sign that said, "Tom Brady helped me beat brain cancer," hoping that Brady would see Noah's thank you from the field, leading to this.
You sent him a video. You sent him a video. Thank you. Thank you.
Brady, he stands up, he grabs the hat, and he walks over to me, and he shakes my hand and puts it on my head.
An unforgettable moment from a player, a sport Noah loves so much. Gestures that he now hopes will help others through tough times, just like it did with Noah.
I hope they just see, like, if they beat cancer or if they're going through something like cancer, that it gives them at least something to lift them up.
In Highland, Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Isn't that incredible?
I know, you guys always hear these stories where I'm like
know.
crying.
You're probably needing one of these. I know she is.
I know, I'm over here trying not to cry.
My goodness.
That was a great story.
That was wonderful. And
Definitely.
Tom Brady, what a champion.
I know.
Really.
What a guy, coming over too and sending the video.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
That is great.
All right, well, we're going to have some great weather for tomorrow. Increasing clouds, so that'll certainly be different. But our temperatures will be pretty similar to today. So if you wanted to get outside, throw the ball around with your kids, whatever you want to do, you're going to have some nice weather for that. Just not a ton of sunshine, but you'll have comfortable temperatures. Right now here in Salt Lake City, 52 degrees. It feels like 52. Now keep in mind that wind chill isn't taken into consideration until you're below 50, so we're not quite at that threshold yet. But our satellite and radar here across the state showing you that we do have some clouds that are now moving in too far northern Utah. So as we go ahead and we zoom in, you'll see it's mostly Utah County up through Salt Lake. So we do have partly cloudy sky currently. High clouds right now, Holiday, Sandy, South Jordan, Kearns, Magna, West Valley, Bountiful, Stansbury Park, Tooele. That's where we're seeing our partly cloudy sky, and we'll expect mostly cloudy sky when you first wake up tomorrow morning. So when you first wake up, it'll feel like it's about 45 degrees. Right now it feels like it's 45 degrees for Provo, for Salt Lake and Ogden. And when you first wake up tomorrow morning, it'll be about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than where we are right now. Salt Lake, though, with this cloud cover, really not cooling off too much overnight. So it'll be close to 50 degrees first thing tomorrow morning. So starting your Saturday off, if you're waking up early to go out with the dog, keep in mind that our sunrise and sunset times will be changing come Sunday. We're going to fall back this weekend, but a little bit of wind tomorrow here across the state, mostly 25 to 35 miles per hour. So by Saturday at 5 p.m. up in the Uintas, we'll have some wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour, but down along I-15 through central and southern Utah, that's where that wind will be about 25, 35 miles per hour. And on Sunday, same thing, 25, 35 miles per hour for eastern Utah and even southern Utah. The mountain peaks gusting a little bit stronger. So first thing tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, it'll be about 45 degrees here along the Wasatch Front, so similar to where we are right now. And by tomorrow afternoon, our temperatures will make it into the mid to low 60s by 4 o'clock. So we'll have more sunshine across southern Utah. We will see the chance for a few showers tomorrow in northern Utah, mostly into northern Nevada. But our better chance for that rain arriving will be on Sunday as our front starts to approach. So we're going to keep our eye on this throughout the day on Sunday, along with some cooler temperatures. And then in a few days, we're going to end up with high pressure taking hold. So what that means for you is a few passing storms through next Thursday, and then by next weekend, ridging returns and we see high pressure as our main story. We will have good stargazing in far southern Utah this weekend. Worth pointing out that you can stargaze all year round in our Clark Planetarium dark sky forecast. It's just that the central part of the Milky Way, the galactic core, is shining from March to November. So you can still stargaze. You actually have more hours of daylight. So there are some pros to stargazing throughout winter, and you'll have some good opportunities in far southern Utah. So St. George, you're close to 75 to 80 through the weekend. 60s return next week. And for Salt Lake City, 60s tomorrow, 50s starting on Sunday with chances for rain and 40s middle of next week. We'll talk more about that chance for rain coming up later in the hour.
Looks great, Allison. Thank you. Well, still ahead, a big push for charitable donations as the holiday season approaches in Park City. We'll show you when we come back.
Nonprofits in Park City and Summit County spent today raising awareness and money ahead of the busy holiday season. More than 120 organizations participated in Live PC, Give PC. Volunteers stood on street corners encouraging citizens to donate to local charities. Organizers say many nonprofits who participated are still feeling the impact of COVID-19.
If people would open their pocketbooks and take part in this celebration of generosity of our community, the nonprofits so appreciate it. Everybody here really needs it. So please help us make it happen and help us get to 6,500 donors.
To donate, go to fox13now.com.
All right, so here's another heartwarming story. Members of the Clinton City Fire Department help out in any way that they can. The department says while responding to a call last month, these firefighters noticed that a patient wouldn't be able to finish picking their apples. So when their 48-hour shift was up, they came back and picked the apples. Clinton Fire says, see a need, fill a need.
Coming up after the break.
The voice of the people are against us taking the gondola up this canyon.
A recent municipal election could have impacts on the proposed gondola in Little Cottonwood Canyon. I'll have that story coming up.
A quick question. Do you know how many federally recognized Native American tribes call Utah home? Coming up, a tour for the first week of Native American Heritage Month.
They didn't make the capital investment they said they were going to make.
A tech firm is under investigation by the state over comments its CEO made to lawmakers.
A victory for an underdog candidate in the Sandy mayor's race prompted a celebration by those who oppose a big development plan for Little Cottonwood Canyon.
As Fox 13's Eliana Sheriff explains, for those against a proposed gondola in Little Cottonwood Canyon, the fight is far from over.
Definitely ran as an underdog, small amount of funding, but big effort from the people of Sandy.
Part of that help included $10,000 from Friends of Little Cottonwood Canyon.
Friends of Little Cottonwood Canyon, we decided to get behind her and Jim Bennett and support them, breathe a little bit of life into their campaign.
This group decided to go all in to endorse candidates who oppose the $500 million taxpayer-funded gondola proposal.
Going out and building the gondola now and placing 22 pylons is an impact to the watershed, and it's an impact to the canyon visually, and it'll be an impact that will be irreversible.
Others believe the gondola is a long-term solution to the growing problem of traffic congestion.
What we have learned is the more people learn about gondola, the more they like it.
Dave Fields, the president of Snowbird, calls it the safest, most reliable, and most effective way to get up the canyon. He believes more buses up Little Cottonwood Canyon will make traffic worse.
If we just add more buses along with all the cars and more lanes, it's going to be a nightmare trying to get up and down this canyon.
Field says the road is avalanche prone and he supports a gondola going over it all.
We need to get people out of cars and into something that is safe no matter what's happening with avalanches in the canyon.
David Hart says as a resident of the canyon, the traffic problem is overblown.
Going out and spending $600 million to solve a 10 or 20 day problem is a tremendous amount of money that only benefits a small group of people, about 7% of the population. What we would like to see is a more phased approach.
With Zoltansky's election to office, Friends of Little Cottonwood Canyon say their work continues. They plan to mobilize more voters and take this issue to the legislature.
We want the legislation to take note and to see that the voice of the people are against us taking the gondola up this canyon and commercializing this area more.
There have been more than 13,000 public comments submitted so far on the bus or gondola option, and UDOT will make a decision in the spring. In Little Cottonwood Canyon, Eliana Sheriff, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Soltansky still holds a lead in the ranked choice election. She posted on Facebook that Jim Bennett has conceded.
Governor Spencer Cox issued a call for a special legislative session next week. The big item is redistricting the boundaries for who represents you in Congress, legislature, and state school board. COVID-19 and vaccine mandates will also be discussed in a bill or a resolution. Dixie State University's name change and the issue of bail reform will be on the agenda too. The special session will start Tuesday.
Meantime, the state is investigating one of Utah's biggest tech companies after comments its CEO made about government incentives at an event where state lawmakers got some criticism.
Fox 13's Ben Winslow has more.
The governor's Office of Economic Opportunity confirmed to Fox 13 it is investigating the Silicon Slopes company Domo.
We are investigating Domo, but we can't say anything about that investigation until it's concluded.
It's over comments Domo CEO Josh James made at a breakfast meeting with members of the legislature, where some tech executives were critical of lawmakers. James told the crowd he'd been offered millions in economic incentives by the state to stay in Utah, but he never planned to relocate his company. While not speaking specifically about Domo, the governor's Office of Economic Opportunity says there are terms attached to any incentive deals the state makes.
That contract has certain representations and warranties, among which are that you were looking at other states to locate, et cetera, et cetera. And if those representations and warranties turned out to have been false, then it's a breach of contract and the contract can be canceled and the incentive in that case goes away.
In a statement to Fox 13, Domo says it's fully cooperating and are confident that we did not breach any of our obligations under the contract and that all representation and warranties by us were true and correct in all material respects. Fox 13 is told some Silicon Slopes companies have been threatened with investigations before after aggravating members of the legislature. Economic incentives are a hot topic here on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers have complained about them for years, and recently there's been questions about whether they're even necessary in Utah's red-hot economy.
There's a lot of misinformation about it. People think we give money away or that people receive a certain amount of money. They don't. We don't give any money away.
What the state does is offer a tax break if companies show they add jobs or contribute to the economy.
They didn't add the jobs they said they were going to add. They didn't make the capital investment they said they were going to make. And so because they didn't perform, they didn't earn the credit.
On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
We wanted to update you on a top story we've been following throughout this hour. Southbound lanes of I-15 at 123rd South in Draper are back open after a deadly motorcycle crash. This is a live look from one of UDOT's cameras. The Utah Highway Patrol says a motorcyclist was riding recklessly before rear-ending a Toyota Prius in the HOV lane at about 6:30 this afternoon, closing lanes for hours. Again, I-15 southbound at 123rd South in Draper is back open for drivers.
Still to come here on Fox 13 News at 9, thousands of rooster pheasants are released into the wild all over the Beehive State. We'll follow DWR to see how they do it in Utah County.
And do you need a job? The Utah Transit Authority is looking for you. How you can get hired on the spot tomorrow.
We had a sunny and warm day today. Now tomorrow will be warm, but it'll be cloudier here across the state ahead of some approaching changes. I'm tracking the timing of a cold front this weekend coming up.
Welcome back. If you're looking for a job, the Utah Transit Authority is holding a hiring event tomorrow. They need bus drivers. They're even offering a $1,000 hiring incentive for those who get hired on the spot tomorrow.
You do not need a CDL to start employment. We will actually train and pay you to obtain your CDL. In training wage, you are making $17 an hour. Once you complete it, you'll bump all the way to $19.57. And every 6 months, you'll get an automatic 50-cent raise up to 5 years.
UTA also offers competitive health care benefits and a pension that employees can be vested in after 5 years. The recruitment event is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at UTA headquarters at 669 West 200 South in Salt Lake City.
Pheasant hunting season starts tomorrow here in Utah. This week, the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources invited Fox 13 News to Utah Lake Wetland Reserve as they release several pen-raised pheasants ahead of the season. This year, around 12,000 of them will be released over roughly 4 weeks. The DWR says this year's drought has cut down on the number of pheasants who survived last year's season.
I just love these birds, you know, and letting them go is kind of a joy for me. Are you ready to be free, Mr. Rooster? Here you go. You kind of pull for the pheasants at the same time you want hunters to have an enjoyable hunt.
Well, we wish them luck. Pheasant hunting season runs through December 5th. To learn more about where you can hunt for pheasants, we'll have a link for you on the DWR's website, but we have that on fox13now.com.
November is Native American Heritage Month. Still ahead, we'll go in depth on the different tribes that make up Utah.
And later in sports, BYU has just landed a rare 5-star prize. I'll tell you who. While the Preps tried to lock up their invites to the state semifinals tonight, we've got 6A, 5A, and 4A action all cooking hot in just a bit.
We are so glad you could join us for Fox 13 News at 9. Haley Higgins in for Kelly tonight, and it's a beautiful night out there.
Oh, nice out there.
Yeah, and a great day today. Fox 13 meteorologist Allison Krogan's going to have your weekend forecast in just a few minutes, and you're going to want to stick around for that.
Well, Bob, I have a quiz for you. Do you know how many Native American tribes can be found in Utah?
I happen to know the answer to this because it's in the teleprompter right there.
Okay, what is it? Can you read?
I can read. It's 8. Am I right?
I'm so proud of you. Yes, how did you know?
Thank you. Right there. November is Native American Heritage Month, and Fox 13 News is highlighting Utah's Native communities. Fox 13's Max Roth starts us off with a quick tour of Utah's tribal lands and people.
These tribes are more diverse than we can communicate. Different languages, different belief systems, different art and music. But here's a quick look at the basics: Utah's tribes, their land, and how the census counted them in 2010. Utah's Shoshone and Goshu tribes share cultural ties. The Northwestern Band of Shoshone, the Skull Valley Goshutes, and the Confederated Tribes of the Goshute share what the Census Bureau called a tribal grouping in 2010. The Northwestern Shoshone don't live on their Washakie Reservation. The tribe has an Ogden headquarters and an office in Pocatello, Idaho. In 2010, the Census Bureau reported 248 people identifying with the band, at least in part. Tooele County is home to the reservation of the Skull Valley Band of Goshutes. In 2010, they had 54 people identified with them. And the lands of the Confederated Tribes of the Goshute hug the Nevada border of Juab County. 439 people claimed heritage with them. Eastern Utah is home to 2 Ute tribes. The Ute tribe on the Uinta and Ouray Reservation has land stretching through Duchesne and Uinta counties into northern Grand County. 1,922 people declared a connection to the tribe in 2010. Most Ute Mountain Utes live in Colorado, but a community of about 270 lives in an area of reservation land called White Mesa in San Juan County. 2 Paiute tribes occupy parts of southwestern and southern Utah. The Paiute Indian tribe of Utah's land dots parts of Millard, Sevier, Beaver, Iron, and Washington counties. They had 445 people in the census of 2010. The San Juan Southern Paiute tribe had a census of 38 people in 2010. They're a recognized tribe without a designated reservation, though they're working with the Navajo to get one. And the Navajo Reservation is America's largest, with 27,000 square miles of land in Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. About 332,000 Americans claimed Navajo blood in the 2010 census. About 7,000 live on the Utah portion of their reservation. The 2020 census counted more than 41,000 Utah Native Americans. They haven't broken it down yet, though, but that does mean that most do not live on the reservations. They live in Utah's cities and towns. In the newsroom, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Just into the Fox 13 newsroom, the House of Representatives has passed a $1 trillion infrastructure package that has been stalled for months. It's a major part of the Biden administration's agenda, which they've been trying to pass for months. The infrastructure bill would be a game changer for roads, broadband access in rural areas of the United States, and it would create thousands of jobs as well. That's what the Biden administration has been saying. This bill has already passed the Senate, now heads to the president's desk. We'll have much more on this major national story tomorrow on Good Day Utah Weekend Edition, starting at 6:30 a.m.
Well, tomorrow will be a really nice day here across the state. Now, we do have an approaching front, though, off to our west right now. That's mostly going to be moving through the state on Sunday, so expect some cooler temperatures by then. But for right now, 52 degrees here in Salt Lake City, 52 for Ogden, and temperatures down in Provo currently 48 degrees. So we have a nice evening, a fantastic Friday night, and when you wake up tomorrow morning, your hour-by-hour forecast takes you to about 45 to 50 for Ogden, Salt Lake, and Provo, Logan upper 30s, and you'll notice some spotty clouds here across the state. And as we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to continue to see some rain building off to our northwest. So that'll be 3 o'clock tomorrow. Chance for a few showers near the Idaho border up along I-84, Tremont, and up into Idaho. But overall, expect mid-60s. We'll have more clear sky in far southern and southeastern Utah. And then for St. George, you are close to 75 to 80 through the weekend. So you have some nice warm weather. Daylight saving time ends on Sunday, so Saturday night into Sundays when that clock changes. And then you are cooler into next week with some increased chances for some rain across northern Utah. By Veterans Day, St. George, temperatures in the mid-60s. Here's your Wasatch Front Super 7-day forecast. If it's your first time seeing a Super 7-day forecast, we break down each of the days. So for Saturday tomorrow, a high of 66 degrees here in Salt Lake City. When you first wake up, it'll be close to about 45 to 50 and then into the 60s during the afternoon hours tomorrow. So a really nice forecast for tomorrow. By Sunday, we're going to end up with partly cloudy sky, and then temperatures are going to be quite a bit cooler. It'll be cloudy at times, though, and keep in mind that we're going to be falling back this weekend, so daylight saving will be ending, and that means our new sunrise time will be about 7 o'clock in the morning and the new sunset time about 5 o'clock in the evening. And then we're going to continue seeing some more chances for rain late Sunday and again by Monday. So we're going to have the chance for a few rain showers on Monday with a high of 52 degrees to get the week going. So the top headlines for next week will be we're going to be getting darker earlier. You want to keep the umbrella handy for several days, and also ridging's going to return, so we're going to dry out towards the end of the week. So temperatures will be cooling down from Saturday into Sunday. By Tuesday, we have a chance for some rain, a high of 53 degrees here in Salt Lake City, and we're going to see that chance for rain as we move you through Futurecast first thing on Thursday morning, 7 a.m., and that chance for some rain here across the state by Tuesday night. And then our temperatures are going to stay close to 45 to 50 as we head into the middle of next week. So as we look at Wednesday, 46 degrees for a high. Our rain chances over the next 7 days, our best chance for that rain is going to be, as I step out of the way to show you, Tuesday day, Tuesday night, and then Wednesday day again. So we're going to be tracking a few more chances for rain, and we'll keep those temperatures close to 45 to 50 through the end of next week.
Yeah, it's been a real wacky year in the Pac-12. Take Stanford, for example. They're the only team to beat fourth-ranked Oregon this season. Then again, they've dropped their last 3 to sit in the North Division cellar. So bring on Utah tonight, and this game is underway not too long ago, but so far it's been the Tavion Thomas show. Touchdown runs of 10, 5, 58, and 11 yards, 28-0 right now. Remember, Thomas had 4 scores last week against UCLA, so he now has 8 total over his last, what would that be, game and a half. Pretty incredible run for him. Number 15, BYU goes tomorrow against Idaho State, but today landed a 5-star offensive lineman that played 1 game at Oregon before entering the transfer portal. Former Orem tackle Kingsley Suamatatia is joining Kalani Sitake and the Cougars. Kingsley was a top 40 recruit coming out of high school with basically every program in the country calling his name. He'll be the 3rd highest recruit in BYU history. And the quarterfinal round of the high school football playoffs, beginning with a matinee at Lone Peak. Visiting Bingham on the board first here, Dallin Martinez Sees some daylight from the shotgun. Not a pass, going to scoot himself instead. 21 yards, in fact. But the Knights would finally crack the end zone right before the half. Easton Comer getting that right arm heated up. Floats deep for Cole Christensen. In fact, the same tandem would cap what they started, sealing that drive with a 6-yard hookup. Lone Peak then adding 2 more scores in the third quarter. This one an incredible catch in the corner by Luke Hyde. The Knights holding on 21-14. Skyridge is their next opponent after blowing out Farmington tonight. How about American Fork at Corner Canyon on the other side of the 6A bracket? The USC commit Devin Brown up to his usual tricks as the BYU-bound Cole Hagan in the flat, a chain mover right there in the fourth. The drive was capped by Brown to Dylan Carlson. Both Carlson and Hagan each found the end zone twice against the Cavemen to go up 45-22. The clock is not a Forks friend here. Maddox Madsen needs to get rid of it quickly, but he's picked by Tate Staley at the end. And the top 4 seeds are all semi-bound after Weber edged out Syracuse as well tonight. Go to 5A. This is Lehigh down in Provo to visit Timpview. Start in the third. The T-Birds coming right for the camera. Almost took out our camera. Nice grab, Pokai Hanga from Lou Amave. Lehigh keeping hold of the lead, though. Zane Goodrich booting from 29 in the fourth. 2013 Pioneers. Timp needing a first down on fourth, but they don't get enough. Only to watch Purple march down to tack on some insurance. Carson Gonzalez escaping all kinds of should-be tacklers to set up a third and final Goodrich field goal. 23-13, the 7th seed upsets the 2 to get the winner right here. East trying to advance into next week's semi as a 22 seed, but they had trouble keeping a handle on the football against Stansbury, this time off a muffed punt. Austin Isom on the pounce, leading to the Stallion aerial attack. Ezra Harris with time. Step to the left and fire. Dylan Hamilton, 22-yard connection to go up 2 scores in the third. East would march all the way down, just another yard or 2 till pay dirt, but this exchange goes horribly wrong. Their third fumble of the quarter. Stansbury getting a couple of touchdown runs from Nate Bushnell as well to triple up the Leopards 21-7. The top seed Springville entertaining Timpanogos, where the Red Devils led 42-0 at the midway point, make that 49 unanswered to start. TC Valetti, the Timberwolves with one of their better seasons in years. Josh Jones lights up the board for them, crosses pylon standing up, but this was all Springville and more Springville. Caden De Lamas to Trevin Kelly. Slips a tackle and enjoys the 35-yard sideline stroll. 56-14. They get the 21 seed Orem next week after an upset of Bountiful. And this is a 4A semi in Millville. Ridgeline hosting Crimson Cliffs. The Riverhawks used 5 touchdowns in the first half and another couple in the second half to win 49-34. They get Dixie in the final next week. We'll be right back.
All right, thank you so much for watching Fox 13 News at 9.
Hope you have a great weekend. Quickcast is next.